This video was made possible by my awesome Patreon community and my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much. Welcome you 22,000 lovers of freedom and the 80% of you who haven't subscribed yet to another installment of Saturday morning cartoon propaganda. Growing up as a Jehovah's Witness is not easy. You have to go to meetings twice a week, you have to study the Bible with your family, you're expected to be a loner at school, but one of the worst things about growing up a JW is having to go out knocking on doors, which is what we call going out on service. Today we're going to be watching a few Caleb and Sophia videos that illustrate the burden of being a child in this religion, and they go from relatively harmless to outright culty. Don't forget, today we're doing the cringe challenge, so if you cringe, you lose. So when you cringe, let me know the exact moment you lost it. Are you ready? Let's go. Jehovah's Witnesses have a very strict dress code when it comes to their religious activities. You're pretty much expected to wear business attire when you go to church, suit and tie for the boys, and this 1950s dress code still carried over into the public ministry. You don't have to wear a suit jacket, and in some places you don't even have to wear a tie, but you're still expected to wear slacks and dress shoes. Just try walking in dress shoes in 100-degree weather in Texas. JW parents are expected to bring their kids out into the ministry, even if they're literally babies, and encourage them to participate door to door as soon as possible.
Hola, buenos días, soy testigo de Jehová y mi nombre es Santiago y quiero enseñarte algo muy interesante de Dios.
No estoy interesado, yo no creo en Dios.
Pero esto no es verdad, te lo puedo mostrar en la Biblia. Ok, a ver, déjame traer mi Biblia. Aquí en Santiago 1.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck?
When I was growing up, we were obligated to go out door knocking every Saturday. It wasn't optional, it was just something we did every week. And well, that's the case with most Jehovah's Witness families, going out in service at least once a week. So the first video we're going to be watching involves Caleb getting dressed for the ministry. And the whole video just feels like a knockoff of that one SpongeBob episode where he trains to work at the Krusty Krab.
It's actually a carefully organized code. Watch closely. People order our patties.
Ah, poop.
Looks like Mr. SquarePants understands poop.
Exactly the same vibes.
So you are excited to go out in service. Do you think you are ready? Not so fast. Before you go in the ministry, there's a few things we need to go over. First, we must learn the 3 P's.
The 3 P's?
Yes, preparation, personal appearance, and proper behavior.
The 3 P's should have stood for pee-pee, poo-poo, and pukaka, because that's how it feels getting dragged out into the ministry on a cold winter morning.
First, preparation. Preparation is the first pillar of success in the ministry. Every job requires the proper tools. When it comes to tools for preaching, the variety might seem intimidating, but never fear. We have the teaching toolbox. Finding the right tools is easier than ever. Once you have your tools, make sure and practice your presentation before you leave the house. Wouldn't want to be preparing on the doorstep.
If you're wondering what the hell is the teaching toolbox, it's just the name they give to all the tracts that they distribute door to door. And they're painfully simple to use. So you have this little tract and then you present it to the householder and you ask them the question that's written in the tract. They pick an option from the 3 answers given and then you show them a Bible text quoted inside.
How do you view the Bible? Would you say it is a book of human wisdom? A book of myths and legends? The Word of God?
And if they haven't slammed the door in your face yet, hopefully you can, get them interested in a return visit and you tell them, oh, well, I'm going to return another day so we can talk about another Bible verse. And then you progressively turn that into a Bible study and you make a convert. But it rarely gets to that point because most people are not interested in the Bible anymore. This is essentially a sales pitch. JW kids are taught to become salesmen for the religion.
Now that you are well prepared, it's time to talk about personal appearance. How we look is very important because we represent Jehovah. Getting ready for the ministry, we need to make sure our appearance is saying the right things. Jehovah wants your appearance to be well-arranged and modest. What that means is that we look and smell clean. Our clothes fit well, but not too well. Our hair is done, and we aren't drawing too much attention to ourselves. Looking sharp, my son.
So yeah, that's the dress code, boys and girls. Dress shoes, slacks, button-up shirt, a tie or a bow tie. Now, I think most of the advice in this cartoon is all well and good because personal hygiene is super important, but why do we have to represent God in 1950s business attire? It's silly as hell, and I would argue it's counterproductive in 2024, because if you see someone in a suit and tie coming at your door, you're immediately gonna think, oh, he's gonna try to sell me something. And it makes even less sense dressing like this in the more impoverished sites of the world, where wearing a suit and a tie in a slum area just comes off as tone deaf, and it can be a bit dangerous even. This cult is truly stuck in the past. It's also funny how they mentioned that Caleb should not be wearing tight pants because tight pants are a big no-no in this religion. That's because previous governing body members said that tight pants were actually designed by homosexuals. Yes, I'm not joking.
Metrosexual, that's the tight suit jacket and the tight pants, better known as tight pants. And they are tight, I mean tight, all the way down to the ankles. And that is not modest, brothers. No. But like I've been telling others, and this is a fact, the homosexuals that are designing these clothes, they like you in tight pants. That's who likes it, not spiritual people.
Now it's time to talk about proper behavior. Our conduct while in the ministry is another way we can bring praise to Jehovah. So make sure you are on your best behavior. Avoid talking or laughing loudly, playing around, or intruding on anyone's property or privacy. Also, no eating at the door.
So if you've dealt with kids for more than like 2 minutes, you know it's really hard to get them to stay still for more than a minute, let alone an entire hour or two walking out in the scorching sun dressed like this and expecting them to be quiet at the door. I really don't miss any of this.
Remember, when we go door to door, people see us, and good behavior gives a good witness. We would never want to give anyone a reason to find fault with our ministry.
Can I go out in service now?
Yes, looks like you are ready. It's time to put the 3 P's to the test.
Hi, my name's Caleb. What's your name?
Hi, Caleb. My name is...
Now, dear viewer, you might be wondering, why do JWs go knocking on doors even if they're not actually making any converts? Well, dear viewer, the main purpose of the ministry is not actually to make converts, but it's to give a witness to people. What counts to them is not how many people are saved, but the fact that you made an effort to show up at their doors to warn them about the upcoming apocalypse. Even if the householder doesn't open the door for them, JWs are satisfied at knowing that they showed up, you know, and that people at the neighborhood saw them at least from the windows, and they gave a witness to the nations. And that means that their hands are free from blood. You know, if these people die at Armageddon, they have no guilt, because they try to warn them. That's how the JW mentality works, and that's why JWs feel obligated to go out in service, because if you don't, Jehovah is gonna see you as blood guilty because you didn't warn your neighbors. And that's why they place so much emphasis on the dress code, because they believe to be representatives of God, and if you're representing God, you would want to be dressing in the best way possible when you go knocking on strangers' doors. And of course, it's not only boys that are expected to go preach. girls are also obligated to knock on doors. Even though women have nowhere near the same opportunities as men in this religion, women still make up most of the working force in the religion, preaching force. So next is a really old video of Sophia getting ready for service. Let's watch.
Sophia, are you ready to go out in service? What's in your bag? Looks like you're missing something. What do you need for service? Very good! You need your Bible for service. Do you need anything else? Kids, can you help Sophia? Which one does she need
The
for
toy,
service?
Sophia. Pick the toy.
Magazine!
No!
That's right, kids. Sophia, one more thing. How will you remember the people we meet? Very good. Do you have a pencil? Excellent, Sophia. I think you're all set. Kids, what do you think? Is she ready?
Yes!
Okay, let's go practice what you're gonna say.
Yep, little kids are expected to carry around a huge Bible, which they've never actually read, some Watchtower propaganda that's gonna interpret the Bible for them, and some notepads to write down potential converts. This is totally what kids should be doing on a Saturday morning instead of, going to the park or watching cartoons. And this short comes with a little activity that you can print out, where you have your service bag and then you select 4 things to take for the ministry. What would you choose, guys? Because I think I would choose the sandwich, the water bottle, the teddy bear, and the car. And just go fuck off to the park. I miss the days when they actually played around with the JW.org logo. They don't do that anymore. Why? So that was a short Dora the Explorer ripoff featuring Sophia and her awful garbage mother. But now we get to see the siblings actually try out their skills in the ministry. How will the householder receive them? Let's watch.
Sometimes in service, we meet people who don't speak the language we do.
有什么事吗? Wouldn't it be cool if we had a translator robot that could help us?
很高兴认识你。
Well, we can't use machines to preach.
But we have something better. JW Language. You can learn to speak to anyone with this. First, pick the language you already speak.
Second, choose a language you want to learn.
Third, find preaching skills. What do you need?
Greetings and introductions.
Good, because we need to know how to say hi to them, right? So let's look at this one.
很高兴认识你。
This is so cool. Wow, I can talk to Chinese people.
I can talk to Chinese people. No, you can't, Caleb. It's gonna take you months to hold a basic conversation in Mandarin, only for you to default to 我不明白你说什么. But congrats, Caleb, you just received 5,000 social credits.
Wow, I can talk to Chinese people. Let's go in service.
有什么事吗?
你好. 很高兴认识你.
Wow! 进来，进来. Come in, come in.
Wait, so what are they supposed to do after that? They just speak 2 lines of Chinese. I mean, maybe they can show her like a video or something in Mandarin to make sure this
Chinese person
is well fed with Stephen Lett's ramblings in her own tongue.
是一种群居动物，它们不喜欢单独行动，这样很好，因为可以得到羊群和牧人的保护。
Too bad we never got to see the translator robot ever again because he seemed kinda chill.
很高兴
So just a fun little side note, this video is actually like a remnant of a time long gone, because around 20 years ago, the Watchtower gave a lot of importance to preaching in foreign languages. It was like all the craze. If you were a spiritual person in the religion and you wanted to like expand your ministry and not be bored to death, you would go into a foreign language field and just learn a new language and make converts in your neighborhood that spoke the language, and that would prove that God had his blessing on this organization. But the entire focus on foreign language actually backfired, because these young people were going to foreign language congregations, and since they didn't understand the language being spoken, they just sat there in silence and had time to think for themselves. And since you're not indoctrinating yourself constantly in your own native tongue, you start having doubts, and eventually you wonder, hey, what the hell am I doing here? I'm in a cult. So a lot of JWs that served in foreign language congregations actually ended up leaving the religion. And Watchtower noticed this. They closed down a lot of foreign language congregations and told people to just go back to their native tongue languages in their own home congregations so they could be, indoctrinated properly. So yeah, this religion has backed down on their foreign language focus in the past several years. And this cartoon comes with an activity sheet where children must translate these 2 lines into a language of their choice using the JW language app, which I'm not even sure if it exists anymore. So let's give it a go. Hello. Hola. I would like to give you this tract. Quiero darte esta verga. Nice! Do I get my own translator robot now? So did these cartoons convince you to become a Jehovah's Witness? No? If not, I saved the best video for the end. This one is titled, Don't Give Up, and it portrays what actually happens when JW kids go knocking on doors. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I have a great video about God's promise for the earth.
Oh, sweetheart, thank you. I'm not interested.
And you can read the Bible and watch videos.
Really busy, kid.
Can we take a break?
Yeah.
A break already?
Finally, a realistic portrayal of how it feels to be a kid in this religion. Because most people you find out in the ministry actually have zero interest in your message. Either they're not religious, or they already have their own religion, or they already know you're trying to peddle a cult. And yeah, some of them will slam the door on your face, which honestly, looking back, I don't blame them, because some territories are so overworked that these people were receiving Jehovah's Witnesses at their doors every week or every 2 weeks, which must be exhausting. And the constant rejection does get to you eventually. It's very demoralizing, especially for children, because none of us enjoy being rejected. But imagine a child trying to preach this message that has been drilled into their head and then being rejected for it. It feels like crap. Any JW who tells you that they enjoy knocking on doors is probably faking it, because I've never met a single Jehovah's Witness in my life, and I'm not kidding you. I've never met anyone who actually enjoys knocking on doors. No one likes it, but they feel obligated to do it, because if you don't show up, people are gonna start judging you because you were not out in the public ministry. So at least Watchtower did a great job in expressing Caleb and Sophia's mental anguish after a morning out in the ministry. These people are fully aware of the effect that this religion has on children. So now, how will the parents react? Are they gonna acknowledge their kids' feelings and take them somewhere where they're more comfortable?
A break might be nice, but before we go, do you remember when Jesus preached? Did everybody listen to him?
No.
So, why didn't Jesus give up?
Because he wanted everyone to hear the good news.
That's right. So, how about we each try another house?
Oh, hi, Chuck.
Oh, this is every JW kid's worst nightmare. Finding a schoolmate at the door, especially the kid that bullies you. This is so dumb. No JW kid would ever want this. So instead of taking your kids home after they clearly expressed their discomfort knocking on doors, parents are expected to make them knock on more doors until they start liking it. The beatings will continue until morale improves. And that's the life of a JW kid for you. Force yourself to go out in the ministry, even in harsh weather, wearing uncomfortable clothes, show up uninvited to your neighbor's door, and try to convert them into your doomsday cult. And if you don't do this, God is not gonna let you into paradise. And all of this while telling yourself that you are living your best life ever. I don't miss any of this.
How does it make you feel when you preach and teach with zeal? When you know you've done your part to reach an honest heart.
And this is something that most of the world would just take for granted, but once you grew up with JW, this is something you truly appreciate. Just the fact that you can wake up on a random Saturday morning and not have to go knocking on strangers' doors. It's the best feeling ever. But if there's one silver lining in all of this, is that at least the public ministry seems to be dying off. Door-to-door preaching numbers did not recover after COVID, and after Watchtower stopped requiring reporting ministry hours for regular publishers, hardly anyone knocks on doors anymore, at least from the anecdotes I've heard from Reddit. This type of ministry is slowly phasing out. But that's awesome because that means less kids are gonna be forced to go knocking on doors and they're gonna have more time for themselves and for their families, and that's a complete win in my eyes. And hopefully, just hopefully, I get to see this dumb, ridiculous method of preaching completely phase out during my lifetime, because at the end of the day, it's just a complete waste of time. It's obnoxious, it's counterproductive to the religion, it's also a heavy burden on young, impressionable minds. It gives you a persecution complex. Growing up in this religion, you start looking at people as evil because they constantly reject you at the door. But when you get out of the religion, you realize that, hey, it's just most people don't appreciate the fact that you show up uninvited at their doors to try to convert them. That when you think about it, that's super messed up. And yeah, no wonder we were getting the door slammed on our face. I completely get it now. So I give these cartoons 9 out of 10 in the cult meter. Absolute garbage. Let's hope less and less children grow up in these conditions as the years go by. So let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below, and let me know the exact moment you lost the cringe challenge, because I love reading your comments. And let me know, how was your experience growing up as a Jehovah's Witness kid knocking on doors? If you have any funny stories, we would love to hear them. If you would like to become a YouTube channel member, it's only $1 a month. You get early access to all my videos, and you get these cool little stickers right next to your name to show the world that you are a true Panda Tower fan. I love you guys, thank you. None of this would be possible without your financial support. I really appreciate you. And don't forget to get your own Panda Tower plushie in the links below. These were handmade by one of my beautiful Patreon supporters. So go get yourself a Panda Tower plushie. It's gonna look great on your shelf or on your bed. And you're also helping one of my supporters with his little shop. It's awesome. Take it easy, guys. Have a wonderful day and stay away from the tower.
再见，小绵羊。